Good?
Doing good, man. How about you?
Good, good. All right, we have Carlos here from Kaizen Autosport.
Yep.
You guys, for whatever reason, are letting me race your 350Z here at Virginia International Raceway at Hyperfest.
That's right.
I'm super excited. Not even just that long ago, I would say maybe a month ago I got my NASA license. And now I'm here racing at VIR, which is such a historic track in the US. But you guys have like a pretty cool operation here. What do you do here?
So, everything. Kaizen Autosport started with Formula experiences using radicals as like ride-along cars and doing stuff like that, and it built up from there, and we got into Ginettas, which are these weird-looking fiberglass things.
Yeah, so these are not road legal.
No.
These are race cars built like from the factory as a race car. And what do? You rent these out?
We have a couple that we rent, but generally these are arrive and drive. So most of the cars you see are owned by customers. We have them year-round. We prep them for every race. We bring them with us across the country, and we created the Ginetta Challenge North America Series. So this is a Ginetta G56 GTA, built in England, tube chassis, fiberglass, Mustang V6 engine, Quaife sequential gearbox, CTSV diff with a couple bits in it.
Mustang
V6.
V6.
300 horsepower.
4 liter?
This is a 3.7.
3.7, okay.
300 horsepower. And somehow we've run a 156 on full course with 300 horsepower.
That's really fast.
It's all grip.
Any sub 2 here is like crazy fast.
That's moving for sure.
Huh.
So I mean, it's all just fiberglass car. All the bodywork comes off.
How much do these weigh then?
This car weighs about 2,400 pounds. And, you know, pretty good power to weight ratio.
That is so cool. So it's a one make race.
Yep.
Can you race these in other series, like against other things?
Yeah, so you can even do it in something like NASA. It's hard to class because of the tube frame and the sequential transmission. They class it pretty hard, but things like IGT and stuff like that, where they do like GT races. But it classes in a bunch of stuff, but we kind of started our own series here, and last year we had 8 cars. There's 15 this year. So we're just gonna keep growing and growing and growing with what we do.
So cool. So then you also race. This is your personal car.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a full feature on this, but it's cool that you brought this out because you're racing in the same race that I'm racing in.
Yeah, so this is kind of a homebrew thing. I had an Integra a while ago. I've always been a JDM guy. I have an old Mark III Supra, but we did it ground up. My old car had an unfortunate incident, and we started over from scratch from a street car. It's all just a lot of love and hours and fun bits. A lot of these are hand-me-downs. There's some Ginetta parts on here. The hood scoop is from a GT4 Supra, believe it or not. So it's all just bits and pieces and a lot of love from the crew and everybody.
Yeah, we'll dig into this when we talk about this, but awesome. I wanted to talk about the car that I'm gonna race, and also, you guys rent out other cars too, right? This is one of the cars that you guys rent out?
Yeah.
What is this?
This is a BMW 240 IR, so it's basically a factory-built 240 wide body. It's an N55 engine, 300 horsepower. We do endurance racing in it too. We won AER last year here. It's an 8-hour race. So it's an overall fun car. It's BMW's take on a factory-built race car.
And this is for rent also?
Yeah, absolutely. You can rent this. We have Huracan Super Trofeo you can rent. We still rent radicals. We rent street cars. We have Caymans. We have Camaros. We'll be doing ride-alongs this weekend. So it's gonna be pretty wild.
What a crazy thing. Like, I feel like I've heard of something like this, what you guys do at Kaizen, but I never understood it. And these aren't cars that are like left out in the sun and just falling apart. They're actually real cars, or real race cars that have race history that are still competitive.
Absolutely. Like I said, we ran AER last year. We won 10 laps ahead in the first race.
So one of the things that blew me away with this car that I noticed right away is that it has Tommy Milner's name on it. So why does it have Tommy's name on it and his logo?
So this year, you're the featured guest. Last year, it was Tommy Milner. He actually had a year off from GM, and we kind of got to talking, and he said, yeah, let me come drive. And he came down, we covered the badges up a little bit, put his logo on, and just let him have fun.
That is so cool.
So yeah, this is same car.
I've been shooting Tommy pretty much ever since I picked up a camera when he was racing sports cars. I mean, from his BMW days to his Corvette, you know, winning Le Mans, shooting him at Le Mans. Like, it's just so crazy that I even have anything to do with him in terms of like the same name on a car. I'm really excited about that. But you know what? This platform I'm very familiar with. I have a red 350Z, but of course mine is a drift car.
Absolutely.
Not for going straight. Sometimes going straight, mostly sideways.
Absolutely.
But this one, what is this? This is a ST4 built car? Like, what's the story behind this?
So ST4 group at VIR generally run, you know, somewhere around 208, 206, somewhere in that ballpark. And it's just built for grip. I mean, it's simple but competitive. It's got KW V3 remote reservoirs on it. It's got the coilover conversion. It's not an inboard spring anymore. And all the money's in the suspension, really.
When you do that, because I did that on my HR, when you do that for road racing, do you need to strengthen anything?
Not necessarily at this speed and this spring rate. It's not wildly stiff. If it went a little crazier, then maybe. But for what it's worth, all the arms on this are, you know, spherical arms, billet everything. There's no rubber left. Suspension's where most of the magic happens.
And then this is like the craziest wing I've ever seen on a 350Z. Holy crap. This thing's gonna lift off or do the opposite, I guess.
Yeah, we're just gonna try to keep you stuck to the track, that's all. Keep you glued down and make sure you're in there.
Yeah, speaking of glued down, luckily I was able to reach out to Yokohama and they were able to support us this weekend with AO55s. I'm really excited to run on these. This is pretty much what you guys, like something similar you would run on this track.
Yeah, it's, I mean, even looking at the pattern, it looks pretty much the same as like a Hoosier R7 or A7. So this is kind of where they limit it. You know, ST, like super touring classes, you can't run a race slick. You have to run a DOT slick. So this is about the pinnacle of grip before you get into stuff like the Pirellis that are on the Ginettas. Straight race slicks.
Hopefully rain stays away. I mean, we have a set of AO52s also in case it pours.
Yeah.
But when it's like moist out, this should be mostly okay, right?
This is good for damp, but no standing water.
Right.
Once there's standing water, I don't know, whip out your drift skills or something.
Oh no. So I already marked this because this is Tommy's. And I guess as you guys get more guests, you have to just like go down the door.
That's gonna be the tradition now.
One of the things that the guys were telling me about is the brakes are really, really good on this car. So what makes this different from like a stock setup?
So reality is it's kind of half and half. This is 370 Nismo brakes converted to fit onto this chassis. They're still boosted. It still has ABS, but it's so much better than like a DE brake. It's just too small. But this is a nice way to keep the price somewhat relative. It is a two-piece rotor. It is lightweight, but it is a 370 caliper. Nismo.
So then, does it still have a 350Z master?
Yes, and I think that's what helps it be so aggressive on the brakes, and it's helpful for people to not have to dig real deep. That's not confidence inspiring sometimes to have the brake pedal be on the ground. So it's a little, you know, touchy on the brakes, but they work.
Got a little APR splitter, and this is not a HR. This is not a rev up either. This is just a standard DE.
This is just like
motor.
an 03 DE with some cooling and some stuff to keep it alive.
Wait, is this 2003 first year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep, this is an OG.
Couple Z1 parts here. Couple Z1 goodies.
Nice and basic. Most of the stuff on this car for the racing is really underneath it.
Got it.
So it's pretty standard here.
Yeah, just a modified hood.
Yep.
I'm really excited. Let's talk about the inside here.
Sure.
So the inside is where it really differs from my car. The cage work, pretty crazy, pretty incredible. So this is all legal for pretty much most road racing on NASA and SCCA.
Yeah. I mean, you got your fire suppression in the center there, and you have your basic radio and comms. Over here we have where, you know, if the diff gets hot, there is a diff pump and a fan that's independent of the rest of the car. And it's a couple gauges.
I'm sure that's all stuff that you got to run me through, huh?
Yeah, I mean, the fuel pump thing is just, you don't have to worry about that. But the diff pump and fan, I'll talk you through that.
Got it.
You have your basic shift lights here, so you don't have to look down. They're bright.
Okay.
Keep your eyes up on the road.
Right.
I mean, when it flashes, you shift, and it's pretty straightforward. And yeah, I mean, it's a nice gusseted cage in here. You have your long mirror, a wheel hanger. Mm-hmm. It's just enough, you know.
And then you have a built-in Solo 2, AM Solo 2 DL system.
Yep, we got a Solo 2. It just powers off the car's battery. Get your basic lap times in there, a couple things like that.
So this is going to be a dumb question, but do I need a spotter for this? Or are you running radio at all or anything like that?
We could.
Okay, all right.
If you want one, we got it.
It's up to you guys. I don't know how much I want to tax you guys, or I don't know if that'll help or whatever.
Hey, we got whatever you need, man.
Yeah, okay.
If you want it, we got it.
Yeah,
we'll
so
make it work.
you want to just run me through this real quick on camera so everyone else can see too? So what do I need to do, or what do I need to monitor for temperature?
The reality is, really, the water and everything like that, this is just for information.
Yeah.
This car actually runs super cool. Mm-hmm. Nothing here you really got to worry about. It's just the diff. Okay. This has a OS Geiken plate diff. So it's fairly aggressive. If it's real hot on track and the fluid starts to get hot, once your diff temp starts creeping around, 200, 210 or so, flip up the pump and the fan on the diff and just keep driving.
And is it better to just, why shouldn't I just flip it right away?
So when the fluid is cold, it's real thick and it taxes the pump too much. You have to wait till it thins out.
Got it. And then which one is that one?
It's just both of these right here. Okay, you'll put these on, and then when you come in and you paddock and you're done running, you leave them on for a couple minutes. When the temp drops, we'll take care of the rest. Just turn off. It's pretty straightforward.
So is it a 1.5 way or a 2-way?
This is a 1.5 in this car. Yeah. Some decel lock. It's a fairly aggressive diff. Not crazy like skipping through the concrete, but it's a fairly aggressive diff. Plated OS Geiken. It's a nice unit.
Got it.
So other than that, watch your shift lights, and that's it. I mean.
Yeah, pretty straightforward.
Yeah, not bad.
This is what I need.
This is fun.
So cool. I love it. All right, so we'll take you guys along for the whole weekend. This is just the beginning. We literally just landed, came here, and yeah, stoked on this. Thank you so much, Carlos.
Awesome.
I really appreciate it.
It's gonna be a great weekend.
It's gonna be a good one. Yeah.
If it rains,
so when I
drift.
see you, yeah, when it rains, you have an advantage, and I'll just wave bye to you. Just say bye bye.
It's gonna be a good time, man.
Yeah.
It's all for fun.
All right, so now we're gonna dig into his Integra. Day 2 at Virginia International Raceway at Hyperfest. A lot has changed. I just have been so busy, I haven't had a chance to update you guys on what's going on. So I'm not racing the 350Z. I started the weekend in the 350Z thinking I would race it, but unfortunately there was a really bad exhaust leak coming out of the manifold in the front. So after just a couple laps, I was getting super lightheaded and I was getting high. It's a good thing that I switched, because I switched into the BMW M240iR race car. We'll get into this. But the reason why it's a good thing that I switched is because somebody else qualified in the 350Z for the HFGT race, which is the Hyperfest race, and the transmission broke. So even if it didn't have an exhaust leak, the transmission would have broken and then I wouldn't be able to race or chase drift cars. This is a way better race car. This is a way better drift chase car. And also I just feel a lot more confident in this car on this track, considering it is my first time driving VIR. Let's go over the car real quick and then I'll update you guys on what's going on with the race, what's going on with the drift chasing, all of that. I'm gonna try to fit it all into this section before I have to grid up. This is a factory BMW race car. Like, you get this from BMW this way. It doesn't even have a street VIN number. It's just meant for racing and endurance racing. So this is a little out of class in terms of like ST4, which is the 350Z. This, they estimate it as a ST3 because it is a lot faster. It does have a N55 engine. I'll kind of show you guys real quick. So this is detuned down to 300 horsepower. It traditionally makes more than that, 340, and I think a lot of people have been able to make a lot more power out of these. Yeah, they detuned it so it's legal for class, and also they detuned it for endurance racing. You can see it is running KW coilovers, which is really neat. I love running KWs on all of my cars. In terms of a camera car, this is definitely a lot slower than the Supra. The Supra works so much better as a camera car. It definitely has maybe right now as a camera car, it has about 250 more horsepower, which you guys will see in the videos every single time that we get on the straightaways. The drift cars just pull away from me, and it's kind of embarrassing. But as soon as we get to the corners, it's fine. I was able to ship in slicks, which I'm really excited about. Yokohama AO55 tires, 275s, and they fit on here as well as the 350Z Perfect. It was meant for the 350Z, but the fact that they fit on these wheels works out perfectly because, man, they have so much grip and it's so much fun to drive. Big thanks to Kaizen Autosport for letting me use this race car. It has all these wins at these endurance races. The guys are really legit. If you guys want to rent a race car from them, or if you want to just have a track day car for the day and you're coming to VIR, then they're the guys to hit up. They're super cool people to work with. Loved working with them. This is neat in that this is the first car I've ever driven that has air jacks. So for us to change out our rain tires to these, we just have to plug in air bottle, and then it raises the whole car. I'll show you guys a lot of things about this being a factory race car that make it really neat. Of course, the fuel filler is right here, but the real part that really blows me away is how clean everything is with these factory race cars. Look at this door panel. This door panel is all carbon fiber, and then there's just enough molding that's molded out for the cage, and you can see it's a BMW factory cage for a factory race car, but it's so clean inside. The dash is just very well done to have the cage go through it. The center console is really neat. It's cool that they mount the key here because it still needs a key. It doesn't have AC, but it still has a blower, so I can run the blower while I'm in the car. It does have automatic gearbox, 8-speed, just like the normal M245 street car, but this one works great. It seems like it's tuned differently in that there's not even an automatic mode. As soon as you start it and you put it into drive, it goes into manual. Seats are OMP halos, very comfortable. The cage work is really nice. You wouldn't expect anything less from a BMW factory race car. In terms of aero, doesn't really have that much aero. It just has a little wing in the back. Brakes are really good. They felt good anytime I'm doing chasing or if I'm doing just hot lapping out here. Haven't really driven on slicks in a while. I used to drive on slicks a lot when I was autocrossing many years ago, but they're very not forgiving, but they just have so much grip, and the turn-in, everything, the braking, it just feels so good. The problem is, because I've been chasing drift cars, I picked up so many marbles, so in a couple minutes when I line up for my race, I'm gonna have to do some serious aggressive weaving back and forth to try to get all the marbles knocked off. This side is even more impressive in that the Windows switches are integrated into this door panel. Windows switches still work. This is a cool little door pull here. It still has windows, which I'm really surprised about. I think that's pretty cool for a full factory race car. The steering wheel is really neat. It has like a built-in shift light. It has some info here too on this little screen. But yeah, paddle shifters feel really good. There's a Motec dash here, and I think one of my favorite parts about this, I'm gonna go ahead and sit in it. Look at that floor pan. Look how clean that is. It's just so cool. Such a cool factory race car. I'm gonna sit in it and try not to be super awkward. But really easy to get in. Very confident, inspiring race car. A lot of mechanical grip. I mean, it's all mechanical grip, mostly because there's no aero. But for something that weighs so much, I think it's like 3,600 pounds from what the guys told me, it handles so well on 275s. I'm sure you can run way wider. You could probably run 305s, but that would be out of class. Gauges, stock. I don't think the fuel gauge works, but I think everything else still works, including the mile per gallon gauge for some reason. But this steering wheel feels so nice. It's just so cool when the lights come on here. That way you just know right away when to shift. All right, so Motec Dash, this is really neat in that it tells me when I hit ABS, and that is useful because I just know when I'm at the limit of threshold braking. This just lights up blue. It also tells me when I'm about to hit the pit limiter speed, and it tells me predictive lap and all that stuff. It's really, really cool. I do have to run traction control off because the traction control is very invasive, and it's really hard just to even drive at 5/10 with the traction control on. So turn that off. This is the power kill switch. This is the fire suppression. It does have full fire suppression, and this is how you start it. This is really neat. What a cool piece. I just love factory race cars. I just want to give a big shout out to Chris Cavetto from NASA. He invited us out here to race and also to shoot the drifting and just check out Hyperfest again. Because I've been here many years ago and never thought I would be able to race in one of the races. I was thinking it would be cool to come back just to do chase car stuff for the drift cars, but just being able to participate in this way is over the top. And of course, big shout out to Kaizen Autosport for letting me borrow their race car. This is just such a cool machine, and being able to participate in this way is great. Unfortunately, the windshield was cracked before I got in it, so I promise I wasn't the one to damage that, even though I've been getting a lot of rock chips from all the drift cars. But I've been mostly good. I've been trying to stay on track. I did fall for a swing off one time. You know, it happens. Luckily, no damage, nothing. Just got a little dirty, but that's it. Kind of just wanted to run you guys through this race car and run you guys through what's been going on this weekend. And hopefully I can give you guys some updates. I'm gonna run a helmet cam for my race, and Lewis and Tyler are going to shoot from the outside. I'm just gonna have a good time. Qualifying for the race went really well. Just went out there on slicks. First time. I just wanted to put down clean laps and just follow traffic. I didn't want to pass anybody. Ended up doing mid-pack, which is exactly where I wanted. I didn't want to go dead last, and I also didn't want to be at the front, and I probably wouldn't be able to be at the front unless I had a lot more days practicing this track. I only had maybe about 6 laps in this car before I qualified, so it was great to be able to be in mid-pack. This is a bit of a cheater car. This thing is so fast. So I think it'll be a fun race. I'm just gonna run clean. I am a rookie. I just want to get a race under my belt and then continue racing wheel to wheel. why people wear cool suits. I am so hot right now. That was so much fun. Holy crap, that was fun. This is so cool to do the NASA competition school and then go through the whole program and then now do an actual race. And I'm glad I read the rules and regulations over and over and over again. It's imprinted in my memory. So now after the race, for whatever reason, they pulled my car number to go to impound, so I'm doing that right now. I think they just wanted to weigh all these cars. So that's what's happening right now. I'm so red and just like glowing from having so much fun. That was just the best time. I played it very safe. There was a lot of places where I could have floored it and kept going, but I just didn't want to because it's not my car and I didn't want to wreck anything, you know? All right, so just weighed it, 35.14 with me in it. So 3,514 pounds. The guy was laughing at me. He's like, that's a big girl. That was fun. That was fun. Dude, my first wheel-to-wheel race.
Dude, nice job,
That was so
man.
much fun.
Seriously.
That was so much fun.
Nice job, dude. You got like one of your rookie races at the best track ever. Oh, and by the way, I got a chance to drive a BMW.
Yeah.
Dude,
Dude,
nice
thank
job.
you. Thank you so
You
much.
went from like 11th to 5th or something.
Oh, awesome.
I mean, it was some
That was
crazy
fun.
number. I'm not sure. It's something
Great
like
job,
that.
man.
Dude,
Freaking
thank you.
awesome.
That
Really
was
good,
fun.
man. I'm glad
That
you
was
made
a
it
lot
out
of
here.
fun. Thank you. Oh, so good. So good. I just have to race more now. It's all NASA's fault. So, couple takeaways. Yeah, I was really trying to play conservative because not my car, first time, I just wanted to bring it home, no problem. And I'm glad I didn't push it because, for example, the last corner, somebody went off really bad and threw a bunch of dirt on the road. And it was kind of one area where I was almost hesitating. Sometimes when I passed through it, I would full throttle. Sometimes I would kind of like check up a little bit, just in case. And I'm glad I did check up on that time because there was dirt on the road. And if I was going full throttle, who knows, I probably would have spun out on the last lap, which would have been super embarrassing. So never want to explain what happened, you know? That was fun.